Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to our 19th episode of Flag Friday, with only two more to go. Just two. Now, before we get into today's flag, we're going to talk about last week, which was the country of South Africa, and how I have a connection to that country. South Bantu people, according to Ancestry, put my people, part of my DNA, from the South African region. So, small percentage of my DNA, but nonetheless, my DNA, part of my history, family history, part of my story, comes from South Africa, possibly. Now, if more details come with that, I will be quick to let you know. Now, let's get into this week's Black Friday. How many of you actually figured it out? I've heard Ohio, I heard Wisconsin, I heard Indiana, Pennsylvania. Someone even threw out Vermont. People were dancing around the state, but not actually being in the state. So, go over the three biggest clues out of the four that were given to you this week. Go back to yesterday. The nine-spotted ladybug is the state's insect. If that didn't give you the answer, the first one might have pointed you in the right direction, with 2/3 of the state's population lives in this major city. Now, should have narrowed it down for you a little bit, just a little bit, but Ohio still came up as the answer, which is not a bad guess, but not the answer I'm looking for. And the other answer, or the other clue, was part of this state is part of the Great Lakes region. There's one word I left out of that clue on purpose, because if I gave you that one word, you'd figure it out. It'd be too easy. Can't make it too easy. A lot of you are pretty smart, so I can't make it too easy for you. Make you think a little bit. Give you a bit of a challenge. So, that one word was Western. With the western part of this state is part of the Great Lakes region. Did you figure that out? Did that give you the answer? Did that give you the state that I'm looking for? Maybe. I got a feeling someone knows it but not saying it. So, what state are we going to show today? Not only do I have a personal history with the state, personal connection with the state, so does Mrs. Franklin and her mom and her brother, my wife's brother. Are you ready? The great state of New York, the Empire State. Now, how many of you have actually figured that out? The Empire State, New York State. Some of you are probably going, oh man, I should have known. It was pretty tough clues, but we're talking about New York today. My personal connection to the state of New York, not only have I been here years ago, I served one weekend at West Point for providing security for the football game. It was Army versus Houston University. I remember being there, providing security for the game. It was pretty cool at West Point. I didn't get to see the entire campus, but nonetheless, I was at West Point. I live in the state of New York. I live out by the Troy Albany region. I live out by the capital region. And Mrs. Franklin was born in Albany and lived in Albany and New York City. I've been to New York City a long time ago, visit the city, and I went to Apollo Theater. Some of you probably don't know what Apollo Theater is, but some of you are my age. You might know what Apollo is. I've been there. One of the historic places in the city, one of the historic places in the country. If you get a chance to go to New York City and the Apollo Theater is still there, you should go. Get a piece of history there. And my Mrs. Franklin's mother was born in New York and was a nurse at Albany Medical Center for over 40 years, or close to 40 years. It's a long time to be a nurse. So we're in good hands here over here when it comes to medical and health issues. There's some things that still trip us up, but we have pretty good handle on things here. So that's the connection I have to New York State. And one of the Great Lakes that's part or that touches the western part of the state is Lake Erie. Lake Erie. Some of you probably forgot all about Lake Erie. Oh yeah, Lake Erie. So stay tuned because next week is going to be a country. Yeah, that one's a little tough. It was kind of hard to find clues that you can possibly give you the answer and lead you to the answer. So next week is a little tough. So next week you might be able to figure it out. If not, I won't be too surprised. But again, another challenge for you. So next week's country. If you can figure this country out, you're pretty good. You're pretty good. So with that being said, I want to thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Next week could be our 20th episode with one more after that. And I want you to continue to wear your mask, continue to be safe, continue to be respectful. And I will see you later.